Let's go to our number 18 team. We talked about this team a lot during our free agency special. Caleb, who did we have at 18? This might surprise and piss off some of our East Coast
Oh,
fans.
man. I'm sorry, but at 18, we have the Atlanta Hawks. And I know Hawks fans are going to be calling us idiots, but let's just get this over with. Had a decent offseason, right? Made some big splash signings, but the problem was you guys didn't add any defense at all aside from Chris Dunn, who now might not see the court more than 12, 15 minutes a game. Gallinari and Bogdan, they're good signings on paper, defensively and fit with your roster.
You don't sound very enthused out here.
Well, I know we're gonna get called idiots, but this is just right stuff. I'm sorry.
You don't need to sound disappointed. Just tell them how it is straight up. Come on, Caleb.
All right. Well, Gallinari and Bogey, they're good offensively, right? People get excited for them. They can't defend a traffic cone. They can't defend Stephen Hawking. Rest in peace. Rondo came in. I don't really understand that signing at all. People are going to say, well, yeah, he could teach Trae Young. Like what? Like the only thing they have in common is their passing ability. And guess what? Trae Young already averages like 10 assists per game. So he doesn't really need much coaching there. That's the
You
only
know what he could use coaching in is, right?
What's that?
Connect Four.
Yeah, well, I guess if Trae Young wants to become a Connect Four champion, but that doesn't help you guys on the court. Defensively, Rondo's not good anymore.
Baby.
I just don't understand what they did this offseason. I mean, Vince Carter retired, so I don't know. They didn't lose much in free agency. Jeff Teague went to Boston. He makes his preseason debut tonight, and I cannot wait. But aside from that, like they didn't lose really anything.
Dude, but they lost Scalabiciere.
Yes, but he's a free agent now. The Knicks picked him up and dropped him right before their first preseason game. But like,
so you're telling Abe that Scalabiciere is not good?
No, he sucks. He didn't even like the Knicks picked him up, and then like 20 minutes before their first preseason game, they looked at him and said, "You know what? I just don't think this NBA stuff's for you anymore, man." But like, they added Okongwu. He's hurt, so I don't know when he's gonna make his debut. But like, sure, they added a lot, but the stuff they added, it doesn't like. I honestly feel like it's a bigger loss for the teams they left. Kind of like what you mentioned with the Pacers. Like, sure, Gallinari's a good pickup, but he probably hurts OKC more by leaving than helps Atlanta by coming there. I just don't see really anything. They are going to have a better record, but they are probably going to be one of the worst defensive teams in probably the last 25 years of the NBA. It's not going to be a good season. Probably going to make the playoffs. Probably a fun, scrappy 6 seed. But that's probably the wrong usage of the word scrappy. But they're going to be a 6 seed. They're going to get knocked out in the first round. I just don't think that it's I don't think it's that impressive of an offseason, to be honest with you. It's more impressive on paper than it will be on court, if that makes sense. Amir?
I've been raising my hand for like 2 minutes.
Dude, I have the Zoom call off whenever I'm reading what they did in the offseason. I can't see anything you're doing.
So you're reading a script is what you're saying?
Yes, this whole thing's scripted. I'm tired of being in the grasp of Clutch Media. Gosh darn it, I want to be free.
All right, Kyrie, relax. I agree with what you're saying, though. The Hawks – they had a good offseason, all right? Hawks fans, don't be mad at us. You guys had a good offseason for a team called the Atlanta Hawks. Now, if this were a big market, LA, Boston, Chicago, Golden State type team, that's different. That's not a good offseason. Let's just look at the Warriors. Not to get too off topic, but they had probably the worst case scenario offseason besides Steph getting hurt. They had Klay Thompson freaking tears Achilles. That's the worst injury he could have had possible, and he's coming off a torn ACL. If you've seen DeMarcus, Klay's probably not going to be the same player he is. That's super unfortunate for them. But what did they do? They went out and got value signings. Kent Bazemore, on the minimum, great signing. And we'll talk about this when we go to the Warriors. But Kelly Oubre, again, they used that trade exception. Great trade. That's the stuff the Hawks should have done. The Hawks are not in championship, not in win-now mode. And I get it. But look at the way they did it and look at what the Warriors did. Steph is how old? Steph is what, 33?
32, 33, around there.
32 or 33. Trae Young is like 21. You guys got plenty of time. There's no rush to it. Signing Gallinari does not fit with your timeline. Bogdan did not fit with De'Aaron Fox's timeline. What makes you think he's going to fit with a guy a year younger?
I don't get what they spent all this money for. It's like they said, well, you know what? Let's just break our banks now and be in salary cap hell for the next 5 years. you're kind of screwed now. You kind of screwed yourself over.
Especially given the fact that look at the next year, two years of drafts are really good.
And it's not only the fact that they signed guys like Gallinari and Bogey that don't fit the timeline. That's taking away play time from guys like Deandre Hunter, who you drafted 4th overall the year before, and Cam Reddish, who you drafted, 8th, 9th, 10th, around there. And Cam Reddish.
John Collins, too.
Yes. Last year, toward the end of the year, the last half, Cam Reddish looked pretty good, right? Before, the shutdown and all that stuff. But, he looked pretty good. But now you took away playing time from him. And it's and I could see if they sign guys that didn't fit the timeline, guys like, let's just say, it won't happen, but let's just say a guy like Kevin Durant, right? Okay, that makes sense. He's a generational talent. Sure, you can sign guys like that. But, Gallinari and Bogey, they don't do much for you other than take away time from young players. And it doesn't work. I don't understand why they did that.
Well, it's because you guys can't sign a guy like Kevin Durant, right, in Atlanta. So then you decide, hey, I can't sign KD. Let me go for those B, C-list type players, which, again, that's the type of stuff the Kings have to do. The Kings can't even get B-list type players. They got to get C, D. But you don't go and just throw all your money at it. That's so foolish.
And it's fine to throw money at guys like B-level, C-level if they fit your team's play style and stuff. You guys gave all that money just to get worse at what you're already bad at, defense. It doesn't help you at all. It blows my mind what they did.
I agree with you. Even like we said, Rondo is not really a guy that's going to take away minutes from Trae Young, right? We all know that.
We know that.
But he's going to take minutes away from Chris Dunn. So that just completely throws away that signing. And, okay, for those of you that are going to argue, what? Are you going to argue with me that Rondo and Chris Dunn are going to play together or that Trae Young and Chris Dunn are going to play together? Good luck getting a stop ever again. You're not going to get a stop.
Chris Dunn can't guard 2 players.
Chris Dunn can't – and Chris Dunn is a good defender, but he's not guarding shooting guards. Let's keep that in mind.
He's undersized, yeah. He can guard guys like C.J. McCollum, who are also undersized, but he cannot take on guys like Harden or stuff like that. And, I get it. When are they ever going to play Harden aside from the 2 times in the regular season? Because they ain't making the playoff. I mean, they're going to make it, but they ain't making it far. And it's it's just such a bad offseason. But on paper, everyone's like, well, look at what this player did. Look at what this player did. And it's yeah, but none of that fits. You just spent money to spend money, and none of it made any sense.
I think we'll be right on this.
They're going to get so mad.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be upset at us, and most of this, even the insiders are saying that Atlanta is going to be a playoff team. We've done our research. We know these type of players. We know this roster, and I'm not saying that we're super experts, but I feel like we know Atlanta to the T, to the point where it's yeah, I know their whole roster, unless they all somehow, Bogey has an incredible year, Clint Capella has an incredible year. Capella, again, that is arguably a good trade for them.
I have no problem with Capella. I like Capella. But, the other stuff – but then it's why draft Onyeka at 6 if you're going to have him play behind John Collins and freaking Clint Capella? You know what I mean? There's none of it matches. None of it works.
There's no structure. It reminds us a lot of Detroit, and we're not talking about Detroit again.
No, we're not. No, they don't even know what we're talking about, dickheads.
Pistons fans haven't even heard from us for the last freaking 3 podcasts.
Pistons fans don't even know what's going on. Move on. God damn it.
Buy or sell. Let's go to our first guy, and that's Trae's new backcourt partner, Bogdan Bogdanovic.
We're going to match perfect, especially offensively. He's an unbelievable shooter. I'm an unbelievable shooter, and we can both handle the balls. He's better on drives into the paint, and he can get us lots of open shots for us, And I think the team's going to be really in trouble, guarding us.
Once again, that's Bogey talking about his new partner, Trae Young, in Atlanta. Caleb, I'm going to ask you right away. Bogdan is the perfect backcourt partner for Trae Young. Buy or sell?
Sell. And I'm not even going to elaborate more. I'm going to let the guy who watched all 82 games of Bogey for the last 3 years, I'm going to let him tell you guys why it's not a fit. Because I know he's going to go sell as well.
Guess what? You're wrong.
Shut up.
All right, he's right. I'm going sell. The reason why I'm going sell is, I'll keep it simple. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's a good player. He talked about in that clip about how he's a great shooter. It's a little bit dramatic, but he's a decent shooter. He's a decent scorer. He's a decent NBA player, but that's really all he is. He's decent. He's not a guy that's going to be your Klay Thompson to your Steph Curry. He's not a James Harden to your Chris Paul. He's a guy that's going to have success with Atlanta. Don't get me wrong. I think Atlanta is going to have a lot of success with that backcourt, especially on the offensive end. And they're going to have a lot of flashes where we're going to see it on Bleacher Report. And you're going to have dumbass Kings fans be mad like, well, look at Bogey now. He had 28 and 4 tonight. Whatever. You're going to see a lot of that this year. I promise you will. But will those result in 2 wins? No. Bogdan Bogdanovic is not necessarily a winning shooting guard in the NBA. He's not a winning starting shooting guard, especially. And I don't know. I don't see that fit necessarily, especially defensively. That's probably one of the worst backcourt defenses in the league. Like, if you can name me 3 worst backcourt defenses in the comments, Atlanta Hawks pissed off fans, go ahead. Because I know you're going to be mad, but there aren't many worse defensive combos besides them two. Bogey is a good player, not a great player. He's not going to fit there long term. Again, he has a lot of injury history. If you really watch his games, he's been injured a ton. And plus, this guy plays in Serbia every summer. So good luck having him ever be well rested. Again, I don't see it. Good luck when he goes to the playoffs. Dude hasn't even made the playoffs in his career, and he already is injured a ton. I don't think it works out. The timeline doesn't work. If Bogey was not fitting with Fox, who's a slasher, how is he going to fit with another shooter?
Not going to be good. Not going to be good at all.
Next up, let's go to me and Caleb's favorite point guard, Rajon Rondo.
It's actually funny. I think I'm the oldest guy on the team. This is the first time in my career, so I've had to deal with that like the last 4 or 5 days. Me personally, I think it's going to be a natural fit for me as far as being able to mentor the young guys. I've had so many great veterans in my career that's helped me become the player I am today, so it's only right for me to give it back full circle and be able to communicate with those guys on what I've learned and share my knowledge.
There's Rajon Rondo talking about how he is the new vet on the team, how he's the oldest guy on the roster, and how it feels to finally be the guy leading the young guys. So, Caleb, my question to you, Rajon Rondo will have a huge impact for the Atlanta Hawks. Buy or sell?
Sell. Again, what Rondo does best, which is court vision. I mean, he's an assist hunter. We all know that from his Kings days. Really, ever since he left Boston, really that last 2 years in Boston, kind of turned into an assist hunter. What he does best, Trae Young's like second best attribute is, which is his playmaking. What really is he going to teach Trae Young? You know what I mean? Like, it's already good. You kind of wasted money and you kind of blocked Chris Dunn getting playing time, which would help Trae Young on defense. I just think that you kind of flopped on that one. Unless their goal is to kind of use him as like a locker room coach guy, but like at that point, like, I don't know, man. All of the signings were so weird to me. And it's like, none of it really makes sense. Maybe we're just overthinking things. Maybe this whole thing's just going to mold together beautifully, but I really highly doubt that. And I just don't think he's going to make that big of an impact. I love Rondo, but I don't think it'll make that big of an impact.
I'll sell as well. The reason I sell is because, again, kind of what you said, Rondo fitting there is very confusing, and especially given the fact that he's not going to get as many minutes as, say, he would on a team that needs a point guard. For example, with the Lakers, like last year with the Lakers, they needed him to play in the fourth quarter. Are you ever going to see Rondo play in the fourth quarter again? No. And to me, that's why you get Rondo. Like, the whole point of Rondo is playoff Rondo, right? It's fourth quarter Rondo. It's clutch Rondo. You're not going to get that putting him – and God knows you're not playing him next to Trae Young in the fourth quarter unless you want to get –
on. That's bad. I mean, I watch Trae Young a lot. And, like, from all the stuff I've read about him and everything and, like, advanced analytics and whatnot, off the ball, he has flashes, but he's not elite enough off the ball to be on the court with Rondo at the same time. Plus, not only that, you guys don't really have great screeners. Like, you're going to have Bogey. Like, assuming your closeout lineup would be, if Rondo was on the court, it'd be Rondo, Trae Young, Bogey, Gallinari, and Capella, right? Of those guys, who's a good screener? Capella, right? There's one screener that can really help Trae Young get open. And like I said, he's not good enough at getting open off the ball. I don't think it's really that good of a fit with Rondo there. I don't understand that signing one bit, to be honest with you.
The only argument I can see Atlanta Hawks fans saying is, for example, with Bogey and Rondo, is I saw a lot of people saying it allows Trae to play more off ball, right? Like kind of like a 2, more of a shooting guard, so he's able to get off ball shots, off ball screens. more of that style of an offense, kind of like a Clay type of an offense where he's more of a shooter and obviously still more of a playmaker, but it allows him to kind of rest. It's just like with Rondo on the court, Rondo's not getting any attention. They're gonna play up more on you. They're gonna focus on off-ball and Rondo. They're like, yeah, Rondo can stay right there. I'll stay 20 feet back. I'll social distance from him, but let me just stay on Trey. And that's why it doesn't make sense to me. To me, the Hawks are funny because this Rondo signing, it reminds me a lot of Vince Carter, where it's like it's someone where it's going to mentor Trey. And do you still need that at this point? I'm fine if Trae Young still needs that mentor. I agree. He's still very young. He should have veteran guys in the locker room that can mentor, teach him how to really be a vet, how to be a leader. But Rondo's just not that guy that's going to really do what you need him to do. Again, go get Vince Carter then if you're going to get that role. Rondo's a guy that's like playoff time. I'll show you how to be a leader in that aspect on the court. So that's how I feel about it. Let's go to our last one. Talking with Trae Young.
Playoffs is definitely something that, is on our mind. It's something that's a goal of ours. But at the same time, it's not just getting to the playoffs. It's actually being in a high seed. It's actually getting home court advantage in the playoffs. It's not just about getting there now.
So that's Trae Young setting the bar super high. The lollipop said right there that he's not just trying to get to the playoffs. He's trying to get deep into the playoffs where he can have home court and stuff like that. So my question to you, Caleb, buy or sell? The Hawks are rushing Trae Young's window.
Buy. I don't understand.
Fine, buy.
I don't understand the reasoning behind this. Like I said, it's cool if you spend all your money and it improves your roster, but it didn't. And what's the point of? Why are they in such a rush? He's not even ready for his rookie contract extension yet. What's the rush with this all? I don't get it. None of it makes sense. And John Collins is ready for an extension. What are they going to do there? Are they going to pay that? Are they going to pay that extension? Because there's rumors that he thinks that he views himself as a max player. Are you going to pay him that? I wouldn't. And why are we in such a rush? I think Reddish fits better with that team. And I don't know, man. I don't
see them even signing John Collins again, because then why would you draft Onyeka? It makes no sense to me. That seems like a replacement type of a pick, and I could be wrong, but
that's the thing. They're spending all this money like they want to win now, but then you drafted a guy to replace one of your better players. I don't understand. Are they building through the draft, or are they trying to sign big name free agents to make a push? Truthfully, I don't get it.
I agree with you on the fact that they are definitely rushing it. I'm gonna buy. I also agree with you on the fact that I don't know what they're doing as far as that. If I had a guess, I would say they're doing both. I think they're trying to win now and sign those flashy splash free agents. But at the same time, I think they're if we can hit in the draft, we'll hit. And they've tried. I don't think they've had much success. Look at Atlanta's last few drafts. They drafted Trae over, guess who? Who did they trade directly? Luka Doncic, right? And Hawks fans, say whatever you want. You lost that trade.
Yeah.
You absolutely lost that trade.
There's no arguing that.
There's no arguing that. Cam Reddish. A lot of people thought he was going to be a lot better than he was, and he just isn't. Yes, Caleb.
Remember Josh Jackson's rookie year? Whenever the first half of the year for Josh Jackson, it was really, really bad. And then that second half, out of nowhere, he was putting up 16 points consistently, and everyone's like, oh, he's good. He figured it out. That's kind of what happened with Cam Reddish. He looked really bad in the first half, and then he put it together in the second half. So I'm cautiously optimistic with him. Deandre Hunter, they took fourth. He didn't really look too promising.
No, not at all.
Whenever they drafted Amari Spellman, people said that was the next Draymond Green. We talked about this. That was not the next Draymond Green. They don't really draft that well, and they don't really make that well of free agent signings. Now the rules out on Okongwu for now. I do think he could be a really good player, but again, he's playing behind Clint Capella. What do you really? You're not. You know what I mean? You're kind of blocking the guys you want to draft and develop by signing these guys, and these guys aren't good enough to really take you to that next level to make it okay to block them. I don't get it.
Well, perfect. Let's look at the team that lost Bogdan Bogdanović, the Kings. And I know I always go back to the Kings, but the reason why I want to bring them up here is because The Kings lost Bogdan. Why did they lose Bogdan? What was their main reason? Why do you think, Caleb?
Because they had too many players underneath them. They drafted guys that played his exact same position, and they pushed them out basically.
Exactly. You have Buddy Hield, you have Tyrese Halliburton, and then you had Bogdan Bogdanovic. It makes no sense.
Jamias Ramsey. Don't forget Jamias Ramsey.
Exactly. And when you have all four of those guys, there's not much room for a bogey. There's not much room for one of at least one. Two of them are going to probably not play, right? So given that, it's like, why would you keep Bogey then? He doesn't fit with your team. You're not winning games. That's it. You got to move on. Same thing with the Atlanta Hawks. It's too early to decide, okay, John Collins is not winning games. You can still play Okongwu and John Collins. I think you can still develop them together. Yes, that makes it a lot harder, but you can still do it. The Capella signing is what throws it all off, because what happens? This is exactly what happened. Kings paid and this is why I'm bringing up the Kings. Kings played Buddy last summer. They drafted Tyrese Halliburton. They had Bogey coming up. You think they're going to tie up over $170 million to the shooting guard position on a losing team? No way in hell. Same thing with the Hawks. You think in a league of guards, they're going to lock up all this money for a bunch of bigs? No, and Hawks fans, you guys are going to lose John Collins this year. He'll most likely be traded. If not, that'll be a loss for you guys because he's going to walk. I don't see the Hawks keeping him.
Nah, there's no way they can keep him. There's just no way. It financially, it doesn't make sense. Roster construction-wise, it doesn't make sense. None of what they did makes sense. I keep saying that, but none of it makes sense. It just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
And Trey put the bar super high. Again, he's not talking about just the playoffs. And that's what worries me. You got young guys that's like already like, yeah, I'm not just trying to make it to the playoffs. I'm trying to make it deep into the playoffs. Dude, you got to make it to the playoffs first before you talk like that.
When that happens, though, basically you set the bar so high that people are like, well, if they don't make it, then that means that Trae Young sucks and he's overrated. It's like, no, that's not what it is. It's just people like to jump to these high expectations way too fast. Like you said, you got to make the playoffs before you can – like you got to crawl before you can walk and you got to walk before you can run. They're just trying to do – it was pretty fire, wasn't it?
No, but your mom tell you that this morning?
Yeah, but they were trying so hard. They're just rushing this whole thing for no reason. They got Trae Young in his third year talking about, I think championship. I think we have like a deep playoff run in us. Like, no, you don't. You don't have that. And
how about this one? You know, when you go up the stairs, right? You got to go up step by step. You can't jump up 5 steps and skip the first step. You're going to fall and die.
Not everyone's like me. I can do that. No, but I agree, though. Like,
move on.
Step by step, block by block. That's how a foundation's built, right? They are not building this thing right, man. They're not. They're rushing it for no reason.
Given all of that, Caleb, let's wrap it up with our prediction of what do we think what they're going to do this year in the East. We don't have them in the playoffs, clearly.
I do. I have them as a 6 seed, but I think they're going to get swept. And like I said, I have them in the playoffs. 6 seed, 7 seed, 8 seed. They're gonna get swept and knocked out. Probably 6 seed's too ambitious, but like 8 seed, they're gonna get bumped out instantly.
Whoa. I don't care if this goes over. We need to talk about this. You think they're gonna make the playoffs?
Yes, as a 7 or 8 seed. Listen, Trae Young is very good, right? They're gonna be horrible defensively, right? But at the same time, they have a lot of players, right? And while we said they don't fit together, I don't think that they fit together. But those players are good enough in the regular season, I think, to get you into the playoffs. But they're not.
All right, shut your mouth. Let's go. Number 1, Bucks. Are they making it over the Bucks? Yes or no?
No. Well, no, they're not going to make it over the Bucks.
Toronto.
No.
Celtics.
No.
Indiana.
No.
Miami.
No.
76ers.
No.
Brooklyn.
No.
Okay, then. That leaves you one spot. One spot you think they're going to make it over. Okay, then we'll go over real quick. Orlando.
Yes.
I agree. Here's mine. Washington Wizards.
Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, maybe. But, you know what? No, whatever. You know what? No. They have players over the Pacers. I'm going to say over the Pacers.
So you're saying the Pacers are going to go from 45-28 with Sabonis being out partially somewhat of the year, and they got a better coach that doesn't lose every year in the goddamn first round.
I think the Hawks can make it into the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win a single game. I don't think.
Where are they making it over?
Orlando.
I told you there's only one spot.
Yeah, they're making it over Orlando. Orlando made it last year.
You're saying they're going to be a better team than Wizards.
Yeah, they have a better roster.
I'm done.
They have a better roster than
Move
Washington.
on.
Washington got Russell Westbrook. That's a good player.
Davis Bertans, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal. That is a much better roster.
Is better than Bradley Beal. All right, I can't even say that with a straight face. But nah, man, I think they can surprise people. I think they could make the playoffs. They're not gonna make a playoff run, but I could see them being, let's say, well, there's a play-in game, right? There's play-in stuff, right? They can make a play-in game.
They will. I think they'll make the play-in game. That doesn't mean they're going to make the
Then they're going to shock the world and win it. And then they're going to win the first round of the playoffs. They're going to get knocked out in the second round. That's Caleb's big market bet of the day. Go ahead and place that bet. Go ahead and place the bet. Wizards,
Don't do
second
it.
round playoffs. Bet it. Bet all you have on it.
We're talking about the Atlanta Hawks. You said the Hawks are going to make the second round.
Yeah, the Hawks.
You just said the Wizards.
Oh, you said I said the Hawks. I'm agreeing with you that I said the Hawks. Move on.